And welcome back, everybody, to the 2025 Pan American Senior Snooker Championship live here in Sacramento, California, in the US of A. We are at the Arian Snooker Club. Got a great round robin match ahead of here. We have Julio Cesar Mas of Brazil taking on Surinder Shirvanvasan. Surinder, I hope you're pronouncing that correctly. He's played in a few tournaments, so I should be accustomed to his name. But, both players have done their practice routines. They're going to flip a coin, and we'll get going in this best-of-3 round-robin match. It's David Burney in the booth. Let us know wherever you're tuning in from. If you have any comments or questions, let us know, and who you're rooting for. It's a Brazilian-American battle here. If you are in the Sacramento area, there's lots of great seating. It's a warm room, that's for sure. It's definitely a hot, long weekend here in the capital. Looks like temperatures are going into the 3 digits. I don't see any 3-digit scores yet. No one's put in a ton. The senior side is early. It's only day 1, and we also got the Open Championship. So the next 8 days are going to be wall-to-wall great snooker action. Julio breaks off to get us going. Yeah, Surinder definitely loves the snooker, always at every tournament that goes on. Shows some flashes of brilliance here and there. Don't know a lot about Julio. Obviously, he comes to us south of the equator, down there in Brazil. It's not a great start. If Julio could really punish Surinder here, help out his cause. So in the game of snooker, obviously, if a cue ball goes in off, that's 4 foul points to your opponent, and they can have ball in hand in the D, as you can see on the top of the screen. But you can shoot any direction from that D, as opposed to our counterpart in the 8-ball, 9-ball game. Sometimes it's just shooting one direction down table. So Julio not tempted into taking a long pot. A bit surprising. Yeah, it's early stages, but they are very short matches, best of 3, so one error and you could be sitting for a while, and if you lose that first frame, it's an uphill battle. You got to fight to win that second to force into the decider. I'm just coming thick on that red that's just to the right of the top left, near the top cushion. If you can hit at such a pace that maybe you can just come off that top cushion and roll nicely by the black. And usually in these positions in the early stages of frames, the elementary safe position is just to clip off a red and come back into the bulk area, but the pathway for Surinder looks a little tough. Giving him 1 red. So Julio's got to be mindful of the black, and his bridge hand is on the cushion, so that makes it just a little bit more difficult. Not a straightforward shot. But he has a nice angle to come up for the blue. He's come up just a bit high, but he does have green at second place. done down table's got that red that's just away from the cluster in the middle. We go into the top left corner. He's got the green. Just rolled a bit too much for that red I was mentioning. Brazil is definitely a hotbed for snooker. Talking to the guys that we see always at these tournaments, they're informing me might be over 500,000 tables in Brazil. There might even be more. It depends on which Brazilian you ask. Some say there's over 1 million, but they're all 5x10 tables, so they're not 6x12s, but they're not the small pool tables. And you can see it's paid off as Iker Figueiredo, who won both seniors and open back in 2019 in Houston, and was the first Brazilian, the first player actually from the Americas as well, to win the World Senior Snooker Championship. He achieved that feat in 2024. Julio is a tall gentleman, but everyone needs to use the rest at some point. These 6x12 tables definitely take up a lot of real estate. And we open up that pocket to make it a little wider by going off both jaws and then finally dropping. And done into this blue, has that open red to the right of the cluster in the middle. Oh, maybe he's got a little ahead of himself there. But it didn't really leave anything for surrender. Julio just coming to inspect. Is that a touching ball?
It's not touching ball.
Looks like he was touching ball there, because obviously if that red moved and it was a touching ball, it would be push shot. Always when referees aren't present, good to announce it loud, or at least have some eye contact with your opponent if it is a touching ball, just so they're aware, so there's no point of discussion. That safety attempt there by Surinder. It's given Julio a good shot on this red. Just wonder if he has a little bit of an angle to come over for the black into the same corner pocket. As we can see, that pink does go. There's some separation. There's just seeing if it does go on the pink. Now, if that pink was covered. It would go on the highest point value available. In that case, it would go on the black spot. Both players just having a discussion, just want to get it right. Great collaboration there. Both players agree, and it's time to play on. Might have just been thinking about his color. Julio on that last red. Forced him to miss. It's a little unfortunate cannon with that red into the yellow. Surinder just dropped his head in disgust. Sure if there's a pathway. Don't think Surinder can get past that red for that red along the top cushion. Just a little unfortunate he hit the horn there, and he's opened up some reds. Julio needs a good red to start the break. If there's a pathway for this red to the right of the cue ball. No, not from that angle. Oh, there's a shot. Wow. Let's take a look at that last shot there by Surinder. He was more going for safe. Where's the shot? tough because there's a little delicate draw on the yellow that he brown and green little wall. Also potential to get behind the blue. Oh, pretty as a pitcher. Good discipline by Surrender. Didn't try to make anything wild. Well, these Brazilians do come up with their own ball markers. The Reds open down table. Julio's got to hit a red in a fashion and not leave anything on. They almost pocketed that red. I think he'll be happy with that. Sure, this red he's lining up. I think we'll go all the way into the green pocket, but sure, that's tough. And always got to watch out for his cue ball going into that pocket. Well, it's not a bad in off, obviously. A lot of Reds at the business end of the table, so Julio does need a long pot to get this break going for him. Just making sure the score is aligned, and it is correct. He's got a 19-point advantage, leading 20-1 in this first frame of a best-of-3 round robin match. The 2025 Pan American Senior Snooker Championship. David Burney's in the booth. Happy to guide you through these great matches of this wonderful tournament. We have an active chat on our stream, where you can find us on Paps's YouTube channel. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to fire our way. Of course, you can help us as well if there's anything technically a little hiccup. If I'm not sounding clear, if the picture's a little off, feel free to let us know. As well, let us know where you're tuning in from. Sport of snooker is played in over 100 countries in the world, so it's always fun to see where our broadcasts reach. This frame is getting a little dirty. That black is severely tied up. Pink is rather tied up as well. Was that red going? It's not finding that green pocket. Kind of opened things up a little bit. Fortunately, the yellow is close to its own pocket up there. It's sort of just planning a few shots ahead. Yeah, it's got to be taking this red that he's close to. He's got an angle to stun up to the bulk end of the table. And that other red near the green pocket is just that saving grace, just in case he is to falter on position. Oh. Those are tough to take. You know, we all know we're going to miss from time to time. Yellow should have gone in, but the cue ball falling and going into the bottom pocket, so he doesn't get the yellow. And submits the 4-point foul, although he would not get 2 points if he was to foul with the white. Julio's just got to be a little mindful, cueing around these yellow and blue. Felt that red nicely. Yeah, snooker's not a game of a sprint, it's more of a marathon. Just wants to take it shot slow and carefully. Slowly compile a break. Yeah, that was the only red he had on into the left middle. Not doubting him if he's taking that long red on that's just to the right of the black. He's up by 25 points and it is a messy table. Does have a path for this red into the right middle. It's got a lot of real estate to cover here. Almost going from one side of California to the other. Pretty much 11 and change feet for this red. Surrender attempted by this red that's just to the right of the black. Looks like he's eyeing it up. Yeah, it's a dirty looking table. Doesn't have the pathway for that red near the yellow pocket. He's giving Surrender a chance, but just both players struggling a little bit to find some good form, and just this table is a bit messy. It is dangerous if you start knocking a few reds out in the open. I think one of these players is going to capitalize on that mistake by their opponent. Surrender just find it a little tough to get that killer instinct and put those reds in the bottom of the pocket. Just tighten a few screws in the brain box and he'll be off to the races. Obviously Julio wants to stop that from happening. Well, there is a pot there for Surrender. It's a thin cut. Really thin into that middle. That's really going to test his eyes. He's going to elect for the safe. Julio tempted for this red by the left middle. As you can see there, it is a thin cut into the middle pocket. Again, a little scrappy first frame here. I believe this is the first match for both these players. Be thrown on the TV table. Always adds a little bit more pressure. Given Julio popped out of his chair. Just wonder if he has a little bit of an angle maybe on this red into the left middle, come off cushion and be on the blue into the green. We're going to draw back. He's drawn back just enough for that brown. He can gently roll this in, and he's got the red next that's close to his cue ball when this brown finds the bottom of the middle pocket. It's got a nice angle to follow through with this to be on the black. So increasing his lead slowly and surely. Just can convert on the black. 6 points. Gets him now ahead by 31. Definitely a lot of points on the table. Nice shot there. Got it tight to that pink. Julio should be able to hit a red. It's just where the cue ball and red ball is going to end up after his shot. But good to do his due diligence to just mark the ball just in case there's a respot. In this stage, when a player is in a foul miss, they get 4 attempts, 3 putbacks. And then out of approval there from Surrender that a hit was made. It was close. This is a dangerous shot if he's going to take this one. The red by the black into the top left corner, as you can see there. Give the pocket every chance to swallow it up, but if you hit it lightly, it might just stay in the jaws. Clever shot, but there's still a red to the right middle. Surrender just waiting for a player on the adjacent table to take their shot. There's very nice facilities here at the Arian Snooker Club. One thing that everyone's feeling a little bit is it's quite hot. I think it's over 100 degrees outside. It's not much difference inside. There's a few fans blowing, a little bit of air conditioning on one side of the room. him to surrender a lot today. He's just hitting the jaws. Just needs to tighten the screws just a bit more. Just one level more of concentration. Now he's given Julio a great little opportunity to dance around these reds. Oh, but Julio falters on his first color. Might have just got ahead of himself there. Now, is that going to wake up Surrender? This little hibernation of potting that he's been not able to do. Doesn't really have to do much with this cue ball. After he puts this blue in the green pocket with the red to the yellow pocket. Just attaching the telescopic extension. All the players now have all the gadgets in their cue case. He's got the right angle to come back down for blue or brown that are in the middle. Yeah, trying to follow it through, come off two cushions. Hitting that with pace just makes it that much more difficult, and he's off some mid-range pots for Julio. Shows you how quick these tables are. But he's nicely on the green in the middle. Just can kind of stick around, just stun into that green. Hold for the red into the left middle. He's just not happy with that. Be a little bit more straight towards that middle pocket. Angle on this red's going to take him up towards the bulk end. He's got a nice little angle on this green. Gently roll it in and he could be on this red. Right of the black. Red out the rail into that last red, but not the case. Does have an open red. A little distracted by another player on an adjacent table. And I'm going to have to just jack up a little bit. This cue ball was off the cushion a bit. Could get a better stun shot to come down and come off the cushion.
One,
A little 9 break increased his lead to 35 points with 43 on. So Julio just needs one of these reds to put us in the snooker's required stage. They're having a little discussion over on the scoreboard. So I employ all of you out there, if you love this game, always good to come and help out. Scorekeeping, you get the best seat in the house, and then we wouldn't have these little delays a little bit in the frame as they discuss things. That was a phenomenal plant shot, but unfortunately he hit the red, hit the green, and that's a 4-point foul. See so often than not, players sometimes make phenomenal shots, but the results are fouls. But hopefully he can foul that away and remember that shot for when he actually needs it. Hitting 2 reds instead of red and green. He's got an angle on this black to develop the red. Oh, but he didn't get the black, but he does have, with that foul now, 40-point advantage with 35 on. So Surinder does need a couple of snookers to get back into this frame. As a ruling as well with the round robin, referees aren't present. When they get to the colors, if it's more than 3 snookers are required for a victory, that is a concession. There's potential of a free ball as well with that final red on the table. Doesn't want that cue ball to go in. It didn't. Green might have blocked the path. He does have a nice blue here. This blue goes in. I don't think we're going to be seeing Surinder come back to the table. Ooh, little decelerate. Can you believe it? Just have to be firm. Didn't really have to be too cute with it. This will hiccup on our scoring software there. It should be 1 to Julio. Leads by 41. 27 on the table. I think that's a concession. They're just having a discussion there, and that should be an automatic concession. As with 41 in it, there's 27 on the table. Yeah, there's the concession there. So surrender concedes. Julio Cesar Mouse takes this first frame by a scoreline of 49 to 8. We'll step aside for frame 2. Can surrender battle back to force us into decider, or will Julio perform a whitewash? Stand by, everybody, and we'll be right back.
Little bit here, like here. So, I think this is right. You put it. It's your great.
And we're back here with frame 2 of a round robin match with Julio Cesar Moss taking on Surrender Shirvan Vasan. Might have left a red out on the left side of the table. Does have this red along the cushion. That's definitely a lot more difficult. Does have the pathway there. Tough with that bridge hand on the cushion. He's playing for the black. He would have been on it, but Surrender's really got to take advantage here. This is where you've got to dig in, put up a good score. Not sure if he's the caliber of taking a frame in one visit, but at least put up a hefty score. Maybe get a little into the 20, 30 break and then just run and hide. Drawing it back just a bit too much. Well, that's tight on that pink. Have a good look at this. I don't think that goes for him. He's going to try and will it in. Might just pocket weight and just maybe hit a little bit of the right horn and fall in. Raise his hand, have a little smile. Tic-tac-toe shot there. Well, we've seen flukes lead to greatness. If you want to talk to the 1980 world champion Cliff Thorburn from Canada, 1983 made quite a fluke on his first red. and then proceeded to take the 15 reds with 15 blacks and run the colors for the first ever 147 maximum break at the Crucible Theatre in Sheffield, England. There's obviously the big debate up there with Steve Davis, I should say, had the first maximum in 1982 at the Latta Classic. The only unfortunate part is halfway through the break, the camera team had to shut down because they had their union brakes. So the camera shut off, so a bit of the break was missed. But for Cliff's 147 at the Crucible, cameras were rolling, and you can definitely go back in time and take a look at that great clip on YouTube. As well as WST Play. That's a great service that the professional body over there in England has brought out. You can watch matches on demand, live matches, and they've got an archive that just continues to build each day of great matches and moments in snooker history. So we're pretty much at the 150-year anniversary of the creation of snooker. An army officer by the name of Neville Chamberlain created the game in India in 1875. It wasn't until Joe Davis came along that really gave the game some structure. Actually, in fact, bought the World Championship trophy and won numerous times. That's a nice shot there by Surinder. Boarded the in off and came up table to be tight to the bulk cushion. Surinder, where's your world famous plant shots? Unfortunately, had an aired one last frame of a red to green. Just maybe hoping that he could get by the red. That's close to his cue ball to get that red just below the black. Unfortunately, it doesn't go directly. Had to play a plant shot, but lots of difficulty with that when there's space between the two reds. He's gifted an opportunity. 2 mid-range shots. There's an angle to come off the top cushion for Julio to find the gap between the two reds to get the angle on the black. Have a shot to nothing here with those reds in the middle. The one closest to the black. Try and kick it into the top right corner and come around the angles to come back to the bulk area. Oh. Didn't see that going in, but it did. Gift him a great opportunity here. They are playing roll on, roll off with this tournament, so that philosophy pretty much is if there's a table available, they'll get a match on. But definitely there's a match I've been eyeing up of Igor Figueiredo taking on Renat Danka. That is scheduled for later today. Hopefully we can get that blockbuster of a match on the TV table, because that will be a lot of fun. Igor, who's won the World Seniors Snooker Championship over in Sheffield, England, been on the Pro Tour. Renat Danka has been on a tear of late in America, winning the American Masters and the U.S. Nationals. Just can connect on that red. Surrender can breathe a sigh of relief there. It's a long red into the top right. Might be eyeing up. It's red on the left side, the lone red. Messy on the right side of that table. There's a direct pot for him into the right middle. Might have to take one of these reds down into the green pocket. See, that's much more difficult. The object ball has to travel more distance. More potential for failure. So, Julio didn't like any of it, so just empty for the safety shot. Open up the pink for a good opportunity, whoever's to get a red. It's a tough shot here, as you can see right there on the bottom of the screen. That bridge hand of his is pretty much molesting the cushion there. Makes it that much difficult. You know, to get that palm of your hand on the bed of the table. You know, he's going to go surrender the same problem. As his bridge hand will be in pretty much the same position, just on the opposite long rail. It's got to keep in the back of your mind that red and, or the brown and green, I should say. Got a small little wall. You know, makes it one big ball and good place to probably hide behind. Tough bridge hand there for surrender. You know, half was on the cushion, half was on the table. liked him gingerly rolling it in. He should have hit that at pace, at least the cue ball. If he was to falter and miss, come up table a bit more. He's giving Surinder a great chance. Just a little run of bad luck, maybe. Looks like he could get by for that pink. Just enough room for him. Cannon into that red might have spelled disaster for him, but pink going to the top right corner. Just coming around to take a look at it. Seeing exactly where he wants to put his cue ball. Only about to run just a bit more just to get away from that red. It's be, either of these two reds that are to the right of the pink. He's got just a bunch of reds in his eye line. Being a right-hander, it's tough to bridge over those reds in there, so he might be opting for that red. It's out in the open above the black. Need the rest. Nice little flick on that red to hold for the black. So break a 12 and growing here for Surinder. It's a 24-0 advantage in the second frame. Frame he needs to win to push us into a decider. Just a little funny bridging. Let's make sure he's firm there. That black just might go past the red on the top cushion. Oh. Played the right shot. going through. Just be on the black to the opposite. It's not an easy starter for Julio. It's really difficult going along the top cushion. And hitting with that pace definitely is going to decrease the chances of it going in. Yeah, that red looks very close to the middle pocket, but it is extremely tough. It's got a nice little angle on this red. Hold for the black. I'd like to cannon full face into that black. Or the red, I should say, to hold for the black.
Bravo.
Selecting just to play safe on the brown. Balls spread out all around the top end of the table. Makes it tough for a clear path back to bulk area. Might just be a right angle and 2 in the middle. No, he's going to hit that really thin, so I'd hope for some good fortune because he can definitely come off the top cushion, but can he find a pathway between the red, blue, pink? Yeah, that's very nicely done. Julio does have a long red into the top left corner. Looks like he's going to give it his best chance at it. And that's a costly mistake there. This black does go to the same pocket where this red's going to go. Surrender just needs to keep his composure. Great chance here. Really add on to his lead. As the black does pass that red into the opposite corner pocket. Looks like he's nice and high on it too. done on the black and hold for the red just below it. Back nicely. Surrender, just making sure it's on the right spot. So Surrender waking up a little bit in the second frame. Julio has faltered a little bit. Do see a lot in the longer frame matches, the momentum. Was a nice little gap there that Surrender had found. They got into it just a bit too much. Don't want to be that low on the black, that's for sure. It's a thin blind cut. Could see him maybe pushing this black to the right cushion just to making it safe, as pink is relatively safe. Always had that idea, but just maybe a bit too much pace for the black ball, but great pace on his cue ball as he put that tight to the bulk cushion. So 55 points in it and 67 on the table. Julio still can steal this frame. Gonna take a lot of work. Develop that red nicely, taking it off the cushion. Just needs the one red to put us in the snooker's required stage. If you want to get any results from this great tournament, head over to cloudsnooker.com. That's cloudsnooker.com. You can see what matches have happened, what's in progress, what's coming up. Obviously, there's a breakdown of all the groups. When matches are completed, they have up-to-date scoring there, and as well live scoring, as all matches have tablets which the players are instructed to use. So all you viewers that cannot come to the room, wherever you find us in the world, can get up-to-date scoring on your favorite player. Flicked a little too much into that pink. black might have stopped Julio to come back to the table. 62 to 1, 61 points in it, and 51 on the table. Just millimeters away from perfection. So obviously taking the 2 on the right side of the table, maybe out of the equation. Oh, maybe there is a pathway. Well, he's left a red open. Well, he does have to be aware that does need some penalty points. But always potential of a free ball as well when you get down to that final red. That could be 8 big points. Surrender might be in a snooker here. So 53 in it, 43 on the table. There's a pathway there for Julio. Oh, and he hits the brown. So it's going from bad to worse here for Julio. Caesar Moss. That's going to help Surrender getting those red balls up to the bulk end of the table. Really limits the ability for Julio to score heavily as the black is deep in the top end of the table. Not sure if that was just a shot of frustration. Going to want to keep this red up because obviously if they went down, it would be a concession ruling. As when more than 3 snookers are required for a victory when they're on the colors. It's an automatic victory for your opponent. Surprised if he maybe tries to just gingerly tap this red towards the top left corner. Or just pot it in nicely like that. Oh my goodness. Wow, but that red's not coming back. And that's going to be a concession. So Surrender Shirani Vasan takes that second frame, and we are going to be going to a decider, everyone. So stay tuned for few moments while they set up frame 3, and we'll come right back to see who's going to get one match win to the good. Yeah, welcome back everybody to our deciding frame with Julio Cesar Moss from Brazil taking on Surinder Shirani Vasan from the United States of America. It's the 2025 Pan American Senior Snooker Championship live here at the REN Snooker Club in sunny and very hot Sacramento, California. It's David Burney in the booth. We're glad that you're tuning in on the PAPSA YouTube channel. We do have actually some bonus coverage as well, I believe, on PAPSA's Facebook page. You can find Rob Richards covering another exciting match from day one of the senior side. These are short sprints. They're best of threes. First frame looked like Surinder was struggling just a little bit, but definitely found something in the second, and Julio just wasn't really able to punish him. It's great to see our good friend Ernie Marsh from Canada coming down. He's getting pretty close to pushing 90. Great to see. It was lots of fun. We had him in the booth last year at the PAPSA Championship in Montreal. Great insight, wonderful stories. And then we actually had him a match on the TV table and made it very interesting for Amit Karki, that's for sure. But Ernie's in tough. He's taking on Igor Figueiredo. So if you want any updates on that live scoring, check out cloudsnooker.com. Cloudsnooker.com, where you can see all of the results there. Surinder's the first one in. Nice angle on the yellow. Come back down. Got to negotiate going over that pink, so it makes it just a little bit difficult. But doesn't have to do much with it, just has to roll this red in because it'll be on the pink or black. Well done there by Surinder. Sometimes as the great 1985 world champion Dennis Taylor said, that's the toughest shot, that straight on shot. Seems like when you have a little bit of angle, you can make some magic happen, but straight on you just got to be just so precise. It's nice to see there. Co-tournament driver Kevin Patrick arrived. Had a little trouble getting out here to Sacramento from transit. Seemed like he had a direct flight, but then it was bumped, and they put him in a different airport. As I heard, he had to spend the night at the Salt Lake City airport in Utah. Finally got in today, so a real trooper as well. Coming in and putting the work, but I'm pretty sure he's going to be happy to see his bed tonight. So surrender breaks down on 12, and he's getting a relatively easy opener for Julio. Looks like he's going to need the redwoods here. So we've got some players in the background looking on the right in all black, his traditional garb. U.S. national champion Darren Taylor. So with a few Brazilians, Januario Silvano de Souza, great commentator, a great man too, always full of energy. Always loving seeing Januario, whether it's here at the Pan Am Games or when he was over in Sheffield, England, cheering on his fellow Brazilians in the Seniors World Championship. As the winner of this tournament will get a spot in Sheffield, England this coming May to play in that great tournament. As well, there's a little bit of money on the line as well. The winner of this tournament takes home $4,000. Second place getting $1,500. $500 for the two semifinalists and the quarterfinalists. Those four players will get $250. So he's done with all those accessories. Now Julio can get back to his regular sized cue. Got a good angle to really open up some reds here after this black. We'll see if he was Stephen Hendry, we know what he'd be doing, but sometimes these players like to just chip away, just not knowing your opponent's ability to put a high break together. Yeah, hold for that red, so not forcing the issue. Obviously, had to if you wanted to open up the reds, had to play it with a little bit more pace, and that just gets your adrenaline pumping, maybe puts your concentration a little bit off. For the blue after this red. He's got to make it first. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to chime in on the chat. It's active here on the Patsy YouTube channel. Obviously, if you have any tips for any of the players to keep cool, I'm pretty sure there'd be open ears. It is a hot room. It's great action, but the temperature, I think outside is easily over the hundreds, and it's trickling into the room. Seems like one side has some decent air conditioning, but the other doesn't, so it's a yin and yang, a tale of two sides of the room. missed that blue. But let's put it safe, and he's left a long red for Julio. Yeah, he jumped up quite a lot after that shot. You want to be really still. Really is cue action that's important. Sometimes people think the harder you hit it, the more draw you're going to get if you're playing a deep screw shot. If you have really good cue action, you can really make that cue ball dance around. I know it's a little tough, obviously, in the Americas, North and South and Central. We don't see the professionals that predominantly play in England, and now they're getting a little bit more over in Asia. Obviously, with Zhao Xingtang winning the World Championship, China's just busting at the seams. This great game of snooker. But I've had the fortune enough to see some professionals play, and it's amazing how slow they shoot. They're not powering the ball around. Now, they're playing on fantastic conditions, that's for sure. Strong number 10 cloth is very fine. It makes the table like a skating rink. But hopefully with the growth in America continuing and the regrowth in America and the popularity in Brazil, maybe someday we can get a professional event on this side of the Atlantic. Right now we're just a little 4-point differential. Surrender with the advantage. Deciding frames. Really start to clam up a little bit. That's a nice snooker there by Surrender. This might be coming back. Yeah. Surrender just didn't have a opening red. So in this situation there's 4 attempts. The player is in this position. Did that hit? No, it just came up a bit short. Should just make a few adjustments and should be successful on this next attempt.
Return? Yeah. So this is the second.
sheltered on that safety. He's giving Julio a chance into the right middle. Saving grace is obviously you can see Julio's bridge hand is all over that cushion. Let's drop that in. He's got the pink in the same pocket. It's red that he's queuing over. Could be his next. Or just the bottom of the red of those four in the middle. A nice angle just to stun up gingerly for that red that's just above the black. So he's crawling his way back into this deciding frame. If anyone said this game was easy, I think you want to take them to a polygraph test. It is definitely difficult. It's obviously when you're in the commentating booth and watching at home, you can see the shots pretty easily. It's one thing seeing the shots, but then you have to execute. A lot of these players have phenomenal technique. It just really comes down to what's between the ears. So it looks like Swindler could stun that red in and just hold for the black into the opposite top corner pocket. A little bit of frustration with having his hand down on the cushion. Does have a long red near the yellow spot into that yellow pocket. Certainly wanted to be a bit higher because it looks like that. Three reds. If it was high on the topmost red, it would go into the top left corner. Doesn't look like maybe he can't get by for that red to the yellow. Just tried to contain him a little bit there. Unfortunately, he has given him a chance. Right into the left middle. It's very tricky. The ball is traveling across the nap, so it's going to want to pull it back down to the top end of the table. So the small little difference between a snooker table and a pool table, where a pool table doesn't have any nap, a snooker table does. The nap is pretty much if you run your hand from the bulk to the top end, it'll feel nice and smooth. But if you run it from the top end to the bulk area, you'll feel a little bit of restriction. Nice black, and he's with the pink on the black spot and the pink spot covered by reds. That black ball goes to the highest point value available, in this case the blue. Nice red there by Surinder. Come up nicely on the pink. Nice little flick. He's got that open red. And as you can see, the top of those 3 reds does go. And he can get his hand nicely on the bed of the table. That other red in the opening, you have to use probably even the long rest. Used to hold the pocket there. I think his heart stopped beating for a few moments. So that easily could have just rattled in the jaws and not gone in.
It's not bad.
Just an update, it looks like Darren Taylor so far has a high run of the tournament right now. He's got a break of 88. I'm pretty sure at some point that should fall. There's just a lot of great talent in this tournament. This frame decider, usually they kind of clam up on the decider, but it's got a decent pace to it. Hasn't been, you know, lightning quick, but the first 2 frames really kind of a grinding affair. Surinder found some form in the second frame and was able to build up a big lead, but it was short little jab shots, not really a big combination ordeal, and he's got a bit of luck there, the Brazilian. Just taking a look if he can slide by. Yeah, this looks like he's going to put a little bit of side on it. I think just wants his opponent to make sure just see where his root spot, but he's boring one of those trusty Brazilian ball markers. So it's going to swerve a little bit around this green. Tough part is this, you just don't know exactly where cue ball and object balls are going to end up. Oh, and he's gifted him a chance. This is a great opportunity. 3 reds pretty open. Pink is there. So Julio's just going to walk around the table, just look at his plan of attack for a few 3 shots ahead. Now getting down on this red. It's all focused on it. the worst idea in the world. Sometimes, you know, you got to take a little bit more difficult shots so you can have a higher break. Say the red into the top right would have been a lot easier for Julio than the red that he took on. Surrender, just maybe looking for some wrong rests. I'm not sure exactly what his holdup is here. So these tables are fitted with all the equipment, so I'm not sure what is just. Maybe his. This TV table doesn't have the long rest, the redwoods as we like to call it, so I just waited for a break in an opposing table on board this piece of equipment that's going to be necessary for a successful pot for Surinder. Bit of trouble here. Now there is a gap, so there is a potential for the pink, as we can see there from that angle. He's got a red into the green pocket. He does have an angle. Looks like maybe Igor Figueiredo might have just had a century clearance in his match against Ernie Marsh. Oh, 23 advantage. There's 51 on the table, so Surinder isn't over the line just yet. Well, he's got a good hit. He's got a good, decent cue ball. Acknowledged by a tap on the table by his opponent. it does have the right to the right middle. Just the newsfeed has come in. Igor Figueiredo made an impressive 1-4-1. 141 break in his match over Ernie Marsh. That's why there was some applause, definitely from the Brazilian side, and as well the Canadians and Americans equally applauded. A great bit of break building by the Brazilian. He's won the senior championship before, would like to do it again, as he has hosted the World Senior Snooker Championship over in Sheffield. Surrender needs that to pull up. It's going to be okay. I'd like to pull it up a bit more. It's very low on this red. Take it a little bit higher. No, it's not a problem. So we've got a 28-point advantage, 43 on the table. This deciding frame, best of 3 round robin match. Surrender ahead of the Brazilian Julio Cesar Mas. He's got a nice cue ball, but red is definitely open and potential for a pot. He's gifted Julio a chance here. What can he make of this red afterwards? Yeah, this might just be a little roll up to the green. Just make sure you get enough pace. Don't hit it too shortly. Well done. Just eyeing the 2-cushion escape here. If you can get by the green, rule of thumb is find your position between your cue ball and object ball, find the middle and point towards, as surrender is there, to that top left corner pocket, and then just bring your cue back along that tangent line And that's where you want to hit your cue ball, on that cushion. You just put a little bit of left side, and you should come off 2 cushions to be a successful escape from the snooker. Well, it might be going up and down just 1 cushion. This could put Julio right back into the frame here. There's potential of 16 penalty points. Could be even disastrous at 28, but I don't see him hitting the black 4 times. I don't know. I kind of like the 2 cushion escape just because using the long redwoods, and the green's right there. Let's see what happens with the first attempt. Now he's thinking to use those redwoods. Take a 2 cushion. Yeah, by that angle, it looks like he can get by the green for the 2 cushion escape. Oh, this might hit the black. This is going to be. Well, I said there was potential of 28 foul points here. He's at the black once. He's just trying to go 2 cushions. It looked like he was lining up the 2 cushion escape, but he's trying the 1 cushion just off the long rail on the side. This definitely has been a long battle, just getting over 2 hours of match time. It's a better attempt there. Successful hit. Well, as you can see, Julio does have the opportunity to put this red into the top left corner. Just trailing by 20 points. I think the Brazilian might have a bit of good fortune there. Good to have him in the snooker. definitely dangerous coming along the right cushion. I think if he can just get past the blue enough just to hit on that right cushion past the middle pocket, that should give him the good angle to connect with the red. He's popped it out. It's a thin cut into the middle, but it's definitely potable for Julio. Wind a little flick, kind of a full cannon into that pink. Could have flicked off the pink and had it into the top right corner, give him an angle to come up for the yellow. This went a little too far. Just roll up behind the brown after this yellow. Looking for the green. Almost got the pot, got the snooker. So everything was working there for the Brazilian. Pretty much got the Brazilian colors right here. Red, yellow, and blue. Surrender's just hopefully to make contact and not leave on that yellow ball. Oh, it's a bit dangerous going one cushion. Doesn't want to leave a free ball. Now there's a free ball. Julio can put him back. Or in this situation, Julio can nominate any ball to be his yellow ball. The one thing that he cannot do is roll up to that free ball and snooker your opponent on the nominated ball. Some clarification on the scoreboard. I believe with the Cloud Snooker app there is a button that they could just press foul. The more important thing is obviously you have to have the scoreboard on the player that made the foul, and then you press the foul and then give the points to the opponent. Also, Julio can get surrender to hit from there if you'd like to. And I think he's just going to put him. He's putting him back. Both players will discuss of where it was. And if both players agree, it's attempt number 2. Surrender just going to get that ball marker just in case. That's a little smile with his opponent there. think obviously when there's no referee present, you want to make sure that cue ball just comes to a rest before you take it off the table and put it back. Because if your opponent is aware and that cue ball is still traveling and your opponent picks it up to put it back for the reswat, that's a 7-point foul. So attempt number 3 coming up. Blue might just block the path for the 2 cushion going bulk and then side cushion. Same with that pink, so. Well, thanks for tuning in, Jason, but it looks like I guess he didn't hit the yellow. Players will have a best vantage point, obviously. Probably a table's length away, the long way, 12 feet away from the action on our TV table. I'm pretty sure if a hit was made, both players would agree.
Oh, can you put that aside?
So getting very nervy here in the siding frame. So Julio coming over just because Surrender's going to try a new route and just needs to get the ball marker out of the way, as any player is able to. That's really going to deflate a lot of confidence in Surrender. Julio having no problem just letting him try and hit it. He's reached success there. Successful hit there by Julio. Oh, Surrender's in a bit of trouble. Leading by 1 point. He did have a commanding lead in this deciding frame. But Julio puts Surrender in a nasty snooker and submitted a lot of points to bring his opponent back in. Good hit there by Surrender. Putting distance between object and cue ball. Chance here that Julio could get behind the pink. Just fell a little bit short of pace. Tension here in this deciding frame. It's only day one. Both players just feeling the tension of it all. Surrender was trying to thinly slice that yellow in. everybody for those technical issues there. Some interesting things at play, but we've got back just in the right time. That's a nice pink there by Julio. This black to take this frame and match. Oh, a great win for the Brazilian, devastating for Surrender. So Julio Cesar Moss takes that frame by a scoreline of 68 to 66. He wins the match 2 frames to 1. We're going to step aside. This is your call in to have some lunch. And we'll be right back with another featured match here at the 2025 Pan American Senior Snooker Championship, live here at the Ariane Snooker Club in sunny Sacramento. See you soon, everyone.